So yes, sir. I've seen your videos and you speak wonderful English.
Thanks for your concern. I've watched
Yeah.
your video as well in your YouTube channel, so I think you speak so fantabulous and in an articulated manner. That's really great.
No, sir. I don't speak good English. Okay, that's
And
good. Yeah,
so
please
we
tell me
can
about.
start this conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
please tell me about yourself so that my audience can know about you.
Well, my name is Shiv. I born and brought up in India. My
Okay.
native place is Uttarakhand. By profession, I'm a central government employee. In
Okay.
addition to this, I'm done with my academic qualification as I have done my master in English, master in commerce, and this year I'm pursuing my master in economics. This is my final year.
Oh,
Moreover, I do teach English to beginners and intermediate speakers through different online applications as an unofficial English trainer, and I run my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teacher Shiv, where I'm uploading English, spoken English content. That's all from my side in brief.
nice, nice, great. Yeah, let me introduce myself. Yeah, my name is Ram, and I'm from Tamil Nadu. I work in the software industry. It's been around 5 years, and also I've been learning English for 3 years now. And I have a YouTube channel. I run a small YouTube channel, which I post only English-related content. Yeah,
Okay, that's glad to know. Yeah.
nice, nice. So you said you're a central government employee. I mean, you look like are you working in some kind of armed forces or police force or something like that?
No, no, I'm
No?
working as a clerk in forest department.
Okay, forest department. That's great because you look so fit and the haircut and everything.
No, 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 no. I work as a clerk in forest department, and
Okay,
like I have some official work.
sure, sure. So tell me about your English journey, sir. How did you learn English? And I mean, you speak like you have a wonderful accent. How did you get that accent?
Well, talking about my accent, I would say I don't know how did you learn this language, but in my case, I
Okay,
used to use one application, and there I've talked with many native speakers around the world,
okay,
and just because of them, like they have a very different accent. And as I did my schooling from Hindi medium school, so I couldn't understand them in initial stage. But after some time, I started watching some videos on internet.
okay,
Those videos were uploaded by native speakers. Then, as soon as I started interacting with them more and more, then I could understand them clearly. And just because I love to interact with them because they are native speaker of English, so
okay.
I got a bit influence of their accent on my spoken English. As you know very well, that environment plays a very vital role in one's
Right.
behavior and personality. So yeah.
So what type of content do you watch? I mean, do you watch any YouTube content, where YouTube English content? So what type of content do
Well,
you watch? Yeah.
yeah, most of the time I love to watch TED Talks, and
Okay.
secondly, I love to watch a BBC podcast. So these are two contents I mostly watch. Otherwise, there are some videos related to spoken English which are uploaded by native speakers of English. So that's
Okay.
what I love to watch most of the time.
Okay. I think you watch a lot British content, right? The content created by British people, because I could see some kind of British accent in your accent. Is it true, or I'm just
I'm not
yeah?
sure because I
Okay.
don't even know about my accent. This
Okay.
is what I have my neutral accent for myself.
Okay.
If you come to my home and you'll talk to me in English, I'll speak in the same way as I'm speaking right now. I don't
Okay.
even know about accent and all because I don't believe on accent. What
Okay.
I believe on correct pronunciation. So
Right.
whenever I'm speaking, I always try to emphasize on my pronunciation so that whenever I'm speaking, it should be understandable to the person to whom I'm talking. So that's what I believe.
Right. Right. So how long have you been learning English, sir?
Well, I've been speaking English for last 3.5 years, and I've been teaching English for last 2 years unofficially.
Oh, that's really great. You made us a very big progress in 3.5 years, because I've been practicing English for 3 years now. Still, I'm not able to get to that level, and I'm still stuck in the intermediate level. Sometimes I go to the advanced level, and after that, I stop learning English. I stop speaking in English because of the situations, and again I go to the intermediate level. So it keeps on happening like that for me.
Well, that's why someone rightly said that consistency matters a lot when it
Yeah.
comes to learning a language, and especially the language which we are not aware of. For example, this language itself, English,
Yeah.
is a second or target language for us, which we are trying to master on. So if we're not consistent to ask to practice, you'll not keep your touch with this language, you couldn't get the fluency as you're expecting from your side.
Okay. I have another question for you. Like, so what are all the things, what are the practices that you do on a daily basis? Not now. I mean, initially when you were learning English, what are the things that you've done, you know, to get to this level?
Well, since I started learning this language till now, I've been following the same tips and tricks. I don't have anything special because
Okay.
I'm not a magician that I will come up with some magical tips and tricks.
Okay.
Most of the time, people who are trying to master this language, all they are aware of these steps. And when it comes to like beginners and co-learners, they're also aware of these steps. But the only thing is that some of them are just implementing these steps, and some of them are not implementing.
Right.
So in my case, what I have done, that first thing I have taken English as a language. I haven't taken English as a subject because most of the time people start learning English as a subject. They start from grammar,
Right.
tenses, modals, and every single thing. But in my case, I haven't learned grammar till now. Honestly speaking, I don't even know a single word of grammar, though I'm
Okay.
speaking, but still. And
Yeah.
second thing, see, English is not our native language. So while learning this language, if we are making any mistake somewhere, or we are stucking, or we are stammering, we
Yeah.
should not feel bad about it. We should not feel ashamed about it, like why I'm stucking and why I'm stammering, right? We
Right.
should not expect the same level of perfectionism from ourselves as native speakers have in this language because we are not born with this language,
Right.
right? Now, third thing, most of the time I've seen people are just running like a rat race. It
Yeah.
simply means they don't even know why they are learning this language and what should be the planning, what should the schedule, what should the strategies. They're not aware of these things. So I would say before embarking yourself into this language,
Yeah.
first of all, you need to ask one question to yourself, that is why. You need to
Right.
find the answer of why, then only you can fly. Otherwise, bye bye. Right?
Right.
So, if you know a powerful reason for yourself that this is the reason that I want to master this language, that powerful reason will motivate you, guide you, direct you, and teach you that how can you master this language. Now, the next thing is most of us know very well what we want to speak in English. But the
Right.
problem is we don't have those appropriate vocabularies which are required to express our thoughts, emotions, and feelings. And that's why
Right.
we are stuck. So I would say we need to enhance our vocab power first. I would
Okay.
suggest learn at least one or two vocab every single day and incorporate the same vocabs in your spoken English so that you would able to get that fluency you are looking for.
Right.
Because car without fuel, useless. Gun without bullets, useless.
Right.
English without sufficient vocabs is incomplete. Right? Now,
Nice.
next one is
Yeah.
I think this could be a controversial point, but this is what I personally believe about it.
Okay.
People are literally obsessed with grammar rules. They are
Yeah.
really bothered about their grammar. They feel, I don't know grammar, I can't speak English, and
That's
that's
the first
totally
thing they
wrong.
learn in school, coming to
Yeah.
English. Yeah.
In fact, they have been learning grammar since their childhood, from their school days and their college life, and as well. But still, they are not speaking English accurately. Why? Because they have learned grammar rule theoretically. They just
Right.
mug up the rule, right?
Right.
When it
Right.
comes to execution, they are totally failed. So, in initial stage, just focus on your flow and fluency. You should be reach on that level where you can speak English confidently, no
Okay.
matter how many mistakes you are making. Are you making sense or not? That's totally fine. Once you reach on that level, then after you can go for accuracy, which means grammar. But
Right.
don't create a trap of grammar for yourself initial stage. Otherwise, whenever you speak English, you like that. Am I speaking correct? Am I
Right.
speaking wrong? Shall I use have? Then
We'll
this is
get confused
happening
all the
nowadays.
time. A parallel process of thinking will be happening. Okay, am I speaking correctly, or the person able to find out my mistakes? We will forget the topic that we are talking. We'll be completely focusing on the grammar. And I want to
Okay.
know one thing. Like you said, first don't try to learn grammar. So, like, I mean, how do you say? First, we have to learn sentence formation, right? At least a basic grammar is needed, right, to learn English. Without knowing sentence formation, how do we make sentences then?
See, there are two things.
Hmm.
First, when you are doing something consciously, and second, when you are learning something unconsciously. I have seen in my case, I have learned things unconsciously. Soon as you start interacting with people, you are going to learn abundant of things automatically. You would never know what kind of rule you have learned.
Okay.
Maybe you don't know the root of that rule, that this is a rule and I have to use on this particular place, but still, you'd more than feasible to use that rule when you speak English. Let me give you one example. I will say, I'm a boy. I am a boy. Okay, I am
Okay.
boy. So I hope you can understand and you understood that मैं कह रहा हूँ कि मैं एक लड़का हूँ. Right? But if I would write the same sentence in somewhere, so it is wrong because I didn't use article A before boy. All
Okay.
right? But as soon as you'll start talking to people, when someone will repeat the same sentence and he will use article A before boy, you would able to learn that, okay, fine, I think this is where I made a mistake and I should improve myself. Second
Okay.
example, for example, I don't know grammar, okay? I know some English words, a basic sentence, but I don't know grammar at all. Now,
Okay.
you are asking me, what is your name? So, what I'm saying, my Shiv is name
Right.
because I don't know grammar. So, I said,
Right.
my Shiv is name, right? A very beginner.
Yeah.
Again, when I will ask you what is your name, then you will say, my name is Ram. Then I will think, the guy with whom I'm talking, like Ram, he's
Yeah.
far better than me in terms of spoken English. And
Yeah.
when I asked this question to him that what is your name, he said, my name is Ram. It means I made a mistake. I should speak like this. So this is
Okay.
how we learn from each other. All right. I hope you have also experienced since you started learning this language. Most of the time you are not aware of rule and regulation.
Right.
But when you start listening to other or when you start talking to someone, then you find, oh God, this is where I was making mistake and I should correct myself. From that point, you would not repeat the same mistake as you have been committing since you started speaking English. So
Right.
this is what I believe.
So you're saying that it's better we start speaking in English so that we can learn everything on the go. And I want to know, sir, one thing. Like you said, you've spoken to a lot of people from abroad, right, to learn English. So which platform you used? I mean, do you know any free platforms so that we can communicate with people from different countries?
Well, that was the time that application was free of cost.
Okay.
Like co-learner like you, me, and many others can easily interact with native speakers.
Okay.
But it has been around 1 year. That application became a paid application now.
Okay.
And
So once they
now
get
you have to
number of
charge.
subscribers, they charge everything. Okay, I understand that. That's how the marketing
Yeah,
goes. First, they pull in a lot of people. Once they have a handful of people, okay, let's charge them. That's how it is.
true.
I understand.
This
Sure,
is
sir. Do
all
you have
about
any questions
business.
for me?
Yeah, I just want to know about your English, Sunny. Like, when did you start and how did you start? What are the obstacles you face in your initial stage of learning, and how did you overcome with all those things? Because now I can see you speak so well. You are not even thinking for a second when you are speaking. That means the clarity of thoughts,
Yeah.
articulation, and sentence formation is really up to the mark. So, how? I just want to know about you.
Well, I used to do lots of listening. That's how I initially started. I did not consciously learn English. I used to watch lots of English movies, and yeah, like you said, maybe it's stored in my subconscious memory. And after when I joined my work, I started learning English because my work demanded English. Because since I'm working in the MNC company, so we get into a situation of talking with a lot of people from different countries, right? So at that time I really struggled a lot, so I seriously thought, okay, we have to improve our English skills. Then I started focusing on my English in the last 3 years. Initially I had a backup of that, so much listening, and at the same time I've learned a lot of words initially even before I started learning English. and that helped me a lot. I started focusing on my speaking. At the same time, I really wasted around 1 year of my time in learning grammar. Without any speaking practice, I did learning grammar, and after completing 1 year, I came to know, oh my God, we did not learn English at all. We are not able to speak in English, because speaking is the ultimate thing of a language, right? If you're not able to speak in a language, then what's the point of learning it? So I was like in that situation. Then I started focusing on speaking in English. I found, I made some friends in my office. Those who they also want to learn English, and we made a small group. We go on call every day, and we speak around 1 hour, 1.5 hours every day, and that's how I improved my fluency. And in my experience, what I think is, you don't need much words. Like they say something. Like what they say is, there is around 1,000 words that we use in English on a day-to-day basis. If you can master those 1,000 words, you can speak a really good English, with really good fluency. All you have to do is, you have to speak constantly. You have to speak continuously every day. You have to practice speaking. Only then you'll get the fluency. A lot of people, they do grammar. They try to memorize lots of English words. Still, they won't be able to talk in English because they don't have the speaking practice. So I believe in speaking practice. That helped me a lot.
Sure, I can say eye to eye statement, whatever you have stated now, just
Yeah.
because speaking can be learned speaking can learn by speaking only.
Right.
And if you want to learn swimming, and I will ask you that this is a book of swimming, read that book, and
Okay.
after reading this book, you are going to learn swimming. Is it possible? It is not.
Not
Yeah,
possible.
for learning swimming, you need to jump into the water, you start practicing swimming, and then only you can learn swimming. Same
Yeah.
goes with driving. If you want to
Right.
learn driving, I will just to ask you, like, read this manual of this car, and after reading this manual, you are going to learn driving. It is possible? It is
No.
not. In order to learn driving, you have to drive. The same goes with speaking only, and a lot of people are a bit confused about this particular thing. They have been learning grammar, they have been learning so many vocabularies, and they have been reading so many books, but what they are not doing, that is speaking only, right?
Right. Right.
So that's what I've said. Before starting your journey of learning this language, one thing must be clear in your mind, that what exactly you want to do with English. What? And
Right.
accordingly, you have to make your strategies in order to master it.
What's the main purpose of learning this language? Why are we learning this language? That gives the motivation, right?
Uh, in fact, most of us are a bit confused about the difference between spoken English and communication. You can check many times whenever you ask to someone that, why are you here on this platform? They would say that I'm here in order to improve my communication. Though they
Right.
have been practicing spoken English, they are learning English, they are reading English, they are speaking English, but they say that I'm here only for my communication. So
Right.
communication is something else, and spoken English is something else,
Correct. Correct.
right?
That's the point. Yeah. Communication is totally different. It doesn't matter which language you speak. Communication is like, how you present yourself in front of others, and especially when you're on a stage, when you're given a chance to speak, how do you present yourself, and how do you able to, I mean, are you able to articulate your thoughts correctly, and the audience, are they able to understand you clearly? Are you able to deliver your message clearly? No, this is all about communication. It doesn't matter which language you speak.
So,
Yeah.
and my next question for you is, for example, if a beginner will come to you and he will ask you that, sir, would you mind if you tell me what are the golden tips and tricks you have in your mind that you can suggest me in order to master this language? So,
Yeah.
what kind of tips and tricks you are going to suggest him?
The tips are the usual one only. I mean, everybody knows it. The first thing what I would tell is reading practice, reading out aloud, because that gives you, how do you say, that gives you a practice of how to pronounce words, first of all. A lot of us, we get stuck while talking is because we never pronounce those words. If you do a read a lot, what will happen is your jaw muscles will get adjusted to the English pronunciation, so it will come automatically. It will be, how do you say, it will be in your muscle memory. You don't have to think how to pronounce this word. It will come automatically. It will come naturally when you talk. So I give, the first thing what I would suggest is, I would suggest to do reading practice a lot. and then listening practice. Reading and listening is more than enough. And then once you've learned enough words, once you've learned how to pronounce words, you can go with speaking practice. Or else you can put speaking also, you can do everything simultaneously. But the most of the thing, the main thing should be go to this reading and listening. Because first of all, you need to know what exactly English is, right? What are all the words available, how to pronounce those words. That's how we studied our language when we were in school, like in primary schools, right?
Yeah, that's true. You hit nail on the head. I do agree with you. In fact, there's a rule that is called LRWS,
Okay.
listening, reading, writing, and speaking, which simply means these are four modules and four pillars of English. When it comes to listen, you have to listen podcast, native speakers, English teachers, professional speakers, audiobooks. If you are going to listen a lot, so it would work as an input in your mind. You are
Right.
consuming so many data in order to produce something, produce output. So uh, someone said rightly, like before being a speaker, one must be a good listener first, and that's true. If you
Right.
listen more and more, you are going to get the exposure of this language. You feel so comfortable with it. Now,
Right.
second, when I'm saying reading, yes, you are correct. The one who read books and anything loudly, I mean to say out of mouth, so
Right.
he can improve his pronunciation. He's going to train his ears the
Right.
correct pronunciation of words. For example, if you would mispronounce any of words, so at least he would stuck at that point that I mispronounce this word. Let me correct myself. And reading would allow you to know so many new vocabs that you are not acquainted with. It
Right.
will allow you to improve your sentence formation. Many of us are struggling with the same when we speak English.
Yeah.
And
That's the problem I
last
have,
but
I
not
think.
least, yeah,
Yeah, I use most of
last
the
but
time
not
the
least,
same words.
intonation is also there. Like the
Right.
one who connect himself with his reading character, he can
Okay.
improve his intonation.
Sorry,
And then
intonation means?
writing, intonation is a rise and fall in your voice according to the
Okay.
content you are speaking, the feeling, your emotions, and the audience you have with whom you are
Okay.
interacting with. So intonation matters a lot. If you speak English at a very flat tone in a parallel voice, it would become monotonous for people.
Like
It's simple,
machine.
like we are listening to a machine or a robot, right?
Right.
So
Right.
we need to add some sweetness, some melody, some
Okay.
you can say intonation while speaking English. And last, which is called speaking, which we are doing right now. So most of us are literally afraid of making mistake. They just take their back foot because
Right.
they feel being a beginner. If I would make any mistake,
We
people are
always want to be
afraid.
perfect in the beginning itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I usually say to every single person that we are not born to be perfect, right? Every
Right.
single person have some perfection with a lot of imperfection. Look at those native speakers; they are also making a lot of mistakes. Teachers make mistakes. You can find anyone. Every single person makes mistake in his own life, right? So
Right.
we are not God. We are just human beings, and human beings are more than welcome to make mistakes. But after committing mistake, you should start working on it. Otherwise, there's no sense at all if you are making the same mistake and again, right?
Right. Right. I understand. That's what they say. Lessons will be taught only once. If you're still committing the same mistake, then you cannot escape. I mean, there is a saying in English. I don't know the exact words. This is the essence of it.